Um, okay, so can you see the chat?
Yes.
Okay. Mama C is here. Uh, we are on YouTube and Twitch. We are live. So check it out. This platform records you from your side. So if like I glitch out, just keep talking, because it's recording, um, and it'll record in high quality. So like right now, we're fuzzy, right? I might be fuzzy to you and vice versa. But it'll record in high quality on your side. And then when we're done with the podcast, don't close out your tabs. Like when we end recording, let it at the top. It should somewhere on your side. I'm not sure what it looks like on the mobile, but it should say like mine says 93% uploading. And so like when we get done with the podcast, just hang out or leave the tab open until it's 100% uploaded, and then because it uploads each of our videos individually.
Okay.
And at any point, I can let me know if you can see this. Can you see that
Just the
on the
purple.
screen?
I see a line, like a purple line around.
Mm,
That's
I
all
should
I'm
be able to
seeing.
pull. I should be able to pull up a comment onto the screen. Do you not see the comment?
I don't see any comments.
Damn. All right. Well, I guess if there's a question in the chat, and you want to answer it, answer it. If you don't see it, maybe I'll ask the question. But like I see it on my side. Um, Let me see if I can see it on here. So it shows up on my side. So it's on my screen, not your screen. So I don't know what it looks like on your phone, but
No,
um,
I just see you and me. That's it. But that's fine. If there's any questions, you can ask me.
sure. I'll make sure I do that. Okay. So we got 3 viewers in here. I guess we can get started. Um, Thank you for being on Did You Die podcast. We found each other on TikTok Live, and you came and shared your story, and I thought it would be a perfect addition to the podcast. And I guess we could just start with like who you were before the experience. What were your beliefs? Who were you? Um, when did it happen? And then take us into how it happened.
Sure. I was never raised religious. I've never read the Bible. I always believed in a higher power, say God or Jesus, but I didn't understand it because I had never read or researched it. And I've had three NDEs. And the second one was when I met Jesus and I was given a choice to stay or come back. And he actually showed me where he was carrying the cross. Oh my goodness. And I could feel the splinters going in his shoulders. And that's when I knew it was true. It all really happened. And it changed everything about me because I'm currently in hospice and I know I don't have a lot of time left. Last night, actually, I was visited by an angel and she handed me what looked like a boarding pass and she put something that looked like small, almost like an air tag in it. And I was like, what? She said, next stop for you is heaven. And So I know I don't have a lot of time left, but I have been there. So, like I said, I've had 3 times. The first time I was very sick, and I felt myself literally leaving my body, and I was up in this huge light. That the light has palpable energy. You can feel the love. You can feel it's the
Let's
most incredible feeling.
let's
Yeah, go
pause real
ahead.
quick.
Sure.
Tell, tell us what how did we get to this scenario? How did your incident happen?
I was injured by a work injury, and I developed a very rare pain disorder, and it has gone throughout my body, and it has attacked my brain and my heart and my intestines now.
Okay, so the first um experience stemmed from like that incident.
Now, the first experience was from being very, very sick. I've been septic twice, and that was the first one. And then the last two were from I have gone into cardiac arrest, and then I OD'd last January. It was an accidental through meds, but yes.
Okay, so w- go ahead. I mean, take us into it. That first incident. What transpired from the
The
moment
first
you
incident,
say left your body?
I felt light all around me, and I knew I was, you're almost flying, but you don't feel that. You just feel this wonderful sensation, and you're weightless. And I saw around me a lot of people that were going up too, and I knew that they were going to heaven. And it was interesting to me because there was a lot of single adults, but then there was a lot of elderly couples, and then I saw some children, and every child was accompanied by an angel. And I thought that was really cool. And I was in this, and I was floating up, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go. And then slammed. I got slammed back in my body, and it was the worst feeling ever. And I went into a very deep depression for a while, because to feel that and then be slammed back in your body and know that you can't go there yet is tough. So that one was just the tip. But I flatlined up into 2021, and
Hold
then
on, let's talk about that one. Um,
um
w- after after you came back to your body, right? What was your thoughts? Like, what did you tell anybody? And if you
yes.
did, who and how'd they handle it?
I told my mom, and my mom. I come from a very big family of gifted people, and my mom's like a published author, and she wrote a book that was actually channeled to her from my great grandmother. And like my cousin, he knew all his life that he was going to lose his first child, and his first child died at 9 days. We've just had this open channel through my maternal line my whole life. So it was not surprising to anybody, but it
And
was
so
really
what?
hard. Yes.
Because you had no belief system prior, what was your thoughts when you got back from that first experience?
I did not really correlate it too much to Jesus or God or really thinking. I just knew that there was an afterlife until the 2021. And that's when I absolutely knew. And it started a couple months before I flatlined when, ooh, this is hard to share.
Is this your second one?
It's before my second one, is that how
Okay.
I developed my communication, should I say. I, once I got diagnosed with what I am, I was going to terminate my life. And I was sitting in front of my jewelry case, which is it's all mirror. And I remember saying goodbye and that I was going to have to end my life. And all of a sudden, I saw a man And I heard him and he said, "Please do not do this. I am your other half and I will help you through this." And he has been with me and helping me since then. He's even warned me before I had a stroke. He told me, um, came to me and said, "Go to the hospital, you're going to have a stroke." And I did. So that was my first experience with really understanding that there's people on the other side. And I didn't even know that mirrors could be portals.
And what do you mean by mirror is a portal?
That somebody from the other side could talk to you through that.
Okay, okay.
I had, I mean, I was completely naive about everything. And in 2021, I flatlined and I remember my body going up. And the first thing I saw was five light beings. And they were in the shape of a human, but very tall, should I say. And they were around a table. And I had no idea. I'd never heard of anything from the other side. I had no idea who they were. And now I'm kind of understanding that they were probably the Galactic Federation. I didn't say anything to them. I immediately moved on and I saw Jesus and I felt God. You feel God all around you, but he doesn't have a body, but you can feel him in you and around you. And the first thing I said is, I was like, "This is my picture of Jesus right here." And he looked exactly like that. And I said, "Wait, do you really look like that? I mean, how did I get lucky to find the picture?" And he said, "No, I will show myself to everyone of how they think I look when they're first passing, to welcome them and help comfort them to the other side." So that was really interesting. And then I was offered, he said, "Do you want to stay or do you want to go?" And I felt right then that I knew I needed to stay because I had been screaming for my kids to call 911 and they took a long time to call. And I thought, if I pass right now, my kids are going to blame themselves. So I said, "I have to go back." And he said, "Okay, but if you go back, you're going to have three things happen to you. First, it's going to be a head thing, then it's going to be a heart thing, then it's going to be a stomach thing." And I said, "Okay." And I did um, the life review. I did the judgment. The life review was amazing because I got to see all my rooms from when I was little to when I was teenager, things I never remembered. And I got to see all of that. You get to experience it. And the judgment that I went through at that time was really seeing, what do I wish I could have changed? And the only thing I changed, I said, "I really wish I'd been closer to my sister." And the ironic thing about that was, the after I came back, a month later, my sister was diagnosed with terminal cancer. But I was able to get closer to her before she passed. So this was great. And they told me if I came back also, if I stayed, I would have to, I didn't know what they mean, like if I was going to have to reincarnate or what, but they said that if I stayed, I had not finished my soul contract. So I would have to complete that some way. And I had already stated earlier, this was my last life. I was not doing this one again. So I said, I came back and he said, "Okay, um, you'll have those three things and then you'll come back." And a month later, I heard that man from the mirror and he told me, "Go to the hospital, you're going to have stroke." So I had my mom take me, and in the line of the registration line, he talked to me and said, "Okay, your right side is going to go completely paralyzed. Don't stress." And it did. And I had a stroke. So, but I wasn't scared because I knew he'd already told me. And then 3 months later, my flu shot, it messed with one of my other medications, and I went into cardiac arrest on my mom's bathroom floor. And she had to give me CPR. And that was the heart thing. And now I'm in kidney failure. And I have been seeing, over the last couple months, I have been seeing a lot of my loved ones. And last night, I had an angel visit me and give me a boarding pass. And she told me my next stop was heaven. So I know I don't have a lot of time left. So, but I would say my one in January, that was when I 100% believe that I also did the quantum immortality and jumped to a new timeline. Because, yeah.
Let's go back to your life review.
Mhm.
What how did that play out? A lot of in the chat we get a lot of people that ask, did it start from birth to current, or did it start at current and go backwards? Was it through your eyes? Was it through someone else's eyes?
It was through my eyes, and I had control of it. It was almost like, it was funny because I was moving my fingers like this, going forward and going backwards. I could look through and I could choose where I wanted to look, where I wanted to see, what I wanted to experience. And it was through my eyes. The only time I saw through somebody else's eyes was if I hurt them, if it was a bad situation. And that's when you go through your side and then you go through the other side, because your soul has to grow. And when I would go through those things, I had to forgive myself. And that was the way I could move on. And that was one of the hardest parts, is it's very hard to forgive yourself when you feel the pain of somebody else. And but you have to forgive yourself, because and realize that, everything that happens down here was for a lesson. And yeah, you may have made mistakes, but that's why we grow, and it's how we handle it. So I was able to go through and really ap- apologize to myself and apologize to others and forgive myself, so I feel like I don't have any more karmic debt or apologies before I pass.
What is what is the most significant thing that you took away from that life review? Was it your sister?
Yes, that was, and knowing that Jesus was real. Because I don't think I really believed it deep down. And the interesting thing is, since then, I will be like in my sleep or my visions, or I can just hear it above. I will be getting messages and passages sometimes, and I can go look it up, and it's exactly the answer for any question I was needing. My channel is very, very open. So, but it showed me that the stories and the belief that, the one thing I've always said all my life was that I don't care what anybody does to me. If you actually need me and you say, "Can you help me?" I will always be there for you. And that was one of the things Jesus was very proud of me, that I walked like that, and I acted like that through my life, because that is what he told me, is that's what he does. No matter what anybody does, the minute they call and ask for forgiveness, they're given it.
So I think we touched on it um when you originally told me your story, but that group of beings, right? You see it as a uh galactic federation, right?
I don't know.
Which
I have no clue.
some people have talked about that, right? And maybe the the UAP UFO alien topic, they kind of talk about it from the perspective of near death experiences, and past life and life between life regression. We learn that there is these group of light beings often sit at a table, and often help you through the life review? Were they a part of the life review at all? Did they sit back and
Mm-mm. No,
they weren't?
no. I only saw them at the table. And when I came back, I was saying I saw five angels because that's the only term I could say.
Mhm.
They were just light beings. The only thing that was really interesting is they were very tall. I mean,
Yeah.
like they were sitting down, but very tall. And then over the past couple of years, as things have been coming out, it kind of resonated that maybe that's what they were. Because I don't know, they were just sitting around a table and no one said anything to me, and I went straight to Jesus.
So in the book of Journey of Souls, they talk about these group of beings. Sometimes there's three, sometimes there's five, sometimes there's 17. And they label them the Council of Elders. And listening to so many near-death experiences, we hear them often. But in Journey of Souls, he talks about how we see them twice. We see them at the end of our life when we go through this life review, and then we see them when we choose our life. And they help us pick our lives and understand our life and understand what may happen or what will be those trigger marks or milestones that we might come across. So I just find it fascinating that you know you yet find another near death experience who comes across light beings at a table in a place that has no floor. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
there's a table in heaven.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was the strangest thing. And then when I come down here and I hear that people have the same thing, I'm like, wow, I'm given a lot of information lately. Like been given information of how the world has ended on multiple timelines. They've given me information about what could happen on this timeline, everything. But everything that they give me, I then go and research to even see, is this possible or is this, and it's flooring me that it's all true. So the channel is very, very open, and I've been very blessed to be able to, I feel like, have these experiences. January was the wildest one, but I've learned that there's a lot more out there.
What does your family think about your experience and what you know and what you've come back with?
Um, my mom is 100% supportive. My my kids are all very supportive. I have three 25-year-olds, 25 twin 25-year-old boys, and then I kind of adopted a 25 year old girl about 5 6 years ago, and they're all really open, but they're also high functioning autistic. So sometimes it does scare them, the information, but since I'm right on so many things and I have like a very good lie detector, they like that part. I can always kind of tell. They come to me for say, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea?" And I kind of can figure it out.
A little intuitive.
Hmm.
What um sorry, I just got a text that the plans are are back on. Our plans got canceled. That we had to back this up some, and then
Oh.
and then they got canceled, and now they're back on. So um, we got time. It's okay though. Um, what uh, what are you doing to prepare for the end currently?
um,
As you know, your time is coming to an end. What are you doing preparing mentally and physically?
I have been taking the time over this. Is that they have been helping me do the kind of stuff that you do when you pass. You do a lot of work on yourself, and I have been able to be doing that and going even more in the life review. and figuring out and apologizing for things. But also, one of the things that I'm struggling with that I know that is tying me here is the anger for people that have really taken advantage of me in the last few years because I was disabled and maybe stolen a lot of money from me and hurt me, that I can't go, I don't have the health or anything to go make them pay for it, and to have to give those things to God and realize that I might not get justice here on earth, but karma will go for them, and they will understand and have to go through that. But letting go of the pain that people have done for you and the injustices is one of the hardest things. And also realizing, saying goodbye to my kids, but I know that the minute I cross over, I will still see my kids, because when I was up there, Jesus took me and he showed me two of my cousins' houses. And it was like the roof was gone. And it was like I was about 6 feet hovering above them. And I could see them and I could hear them talking. And Jesus showed me that even when I cross to that, I will still be able to see and participate. And when I came back, I called both my cousins and I said, "This is what I saw." And it was dead on. So I know that I will still be in my kid's life. And I also know that our celestial being, a part of us is still on the other side. So the minute I cross over, I will get to see all my loved ones, but I won't feel like my kids are not there. But it's that human part that you're like, I have to say goodbye, that makes you want to cry.
For sure, you gotta. For them, it'll be years before they see you. Hopefully, but for you, it would be a split second, likely, because I heard there's no time over there.
Yes.
So so you can cross over, and in a split second, there they are.
Mhm. And
Um,
now
Go
when
ahead.
I in I don't know if it's because I'm so sick, but I have never remote viewed, I've never remote traveled, I've never anything. And now when I close my eyes, I don't see black anymore. I see either green, and that's when I literally travel to different places. I've been able to meet people in like on a ship. I think it was like one of the UFOs. And so I've been traveling, and then when I see blue, that's when it's like they take me to the other spirits. So it depends on what color of what they're doing with me, but I'm traveling every single night in my dreams now.
What aside from the aside from the uh, bus ticket dream or experience, what is something significant that you've dreamt or experienced whatever you want to call it in while you slept?
Um, I woke up once and I saw a being at the end of my bed. He was all covered in black and he was just standing there. But the weirdest thing, he had a nose that looked like, remember the old cartoon Alfie?
Mm-hmm.
Looked like that. And I was like, what the heck? I've never seen anything like that. So I started looking it up on pictures online and I found out that it was the god Thoth. Then I found out that 2 days earlier, Egypt had had a ceremony summoning the gods. And I thought that was really weird. And he has come to me twice. And then I learned that Thoth is one of the gods of transformation. So I just know I'm getting ready. Yes, yes. Hmm. Yeah, yep. Imagine waking up and seeing him standing at the end of your bed.
No thanks.
That's kind of how I thought. I was like, what? Yeah, but he wasn't intimidating. He was just like standing there, just like. watching and waiting, and I was like, ah, yeah, it was. Mhm,
There's a little better picture.
mhm. Yep, that was my roommate 2 times.
That was my roommate. Gross. Go away. Um, So a lot of people see like that shadow figure. It's not that, but it's like a hat man. And we had somebody on the other day that was talking about this shadow figure. And the awesome part is that he had no idea that other people have witnessed this like shadow figure with this hat. He was like, "It's not a cowboy hat. It's like a flat bill or whatever." So I pulled up the hat man, right? Which
Mhm.
many people see, and I pulled it up and showed him and freaked him out. He was like, "That's the guy. That's." He was just standing at the edge of my bed. So it was cool. But I don't think I've ever heard of this one. Um, Hatman was the first thing that came to my mind. Um, did I ask you what you're doing to prepare? I did.
Yeah, I will tell you though that I OD'd in January, and that was the most wicked NDE I've had. And I think that's when I do believe I passed on and changed timelines. And the things that I saw and heard, it's unbelievable. It was really moved me. So I can share that if you'd like.
Yeah, before you
Mhm.
do that, Mama C says, can you ask her about her pain condition and pain condition that made her decide she was done?
Yes. Um, I I was injured. I worked at Kohl's, and one day I was just walking, and the two tendons on the outside of my ankle popped and ripped, and I ended up having to have surgery. And 6 days after my surgery, I fell at Panera Bread. I was leaving. The door was too heavy, and it hit me, and I fell right on my ankle, and I got a hematoma. After that, I went septic. And then I developed what's called CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. It's rare. A lot of veterans get it because it's fueled, especially if you've had any injuries or stress or traumatic things or PTSD. And what it basically is the pain signals that your body sends to something to let you know that there's an injury. My brain does not stop it. It continuously sends that. And now it's spread to every part of my body. Every day I get to refeel, I mean, even vaccines, I get the pain in my shoulders. I get to relive every dental thing. I've had 28 surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries now. It moved up into my brain. It activated uh, what's called trigeminal neuralgia. So I have bilateral trigeminal neuralgia. I've had 2 craniotomies. And then I developed pots in my heart. And now my kidneys don't want to work anymore. And all that from a work comp injury, which of course they don't pay for. So, but like I believe everything happens for a reason. But yeah, my body is definitely failing.
What do you Here's something I ask a lot of times on the podcast. When you tell when you tell your story, your experience, how do you deal with skeptics?
Um, I just, it doesn't really bother me because I know I was skeptical at the beginning. I did not. I've still never read the Bible. I look through it when they give me passages, but also I feel like everybody's on their own journey, and they will get there and they will see the things when they're ready. And maybe their souls are just not ready, but I don't push it. I'm like, okay, that's your, and I just, you know, back
I
off.
think I said this yesterday. Like you said, um, everything happens for a reason, and which
Mhm.
means everybody is right where they should be, right? So if you are a skeptic, and I'm not here to persuade you right now, your time will come if you're meant to be persuaded one way or the other, whether whatever it may be. So, and often people talk about, this is my story, and I don't care if you believe me or not. I'm just telling you what happened, right? It's
Right.
You'll see when the time comes. My
Exactly.
destination does not is not determined on your belief. So, um, what do you what do you think the purpose of life is?
That was a very interesting thing because in January was my longest NDE. And I went through, I saw and witnessed some things that I do know there's some ugly sides when but the purpose of life of what they were showing to me was we're here to try to find love. And that doesn't have to mean romantic love. That is just love for our fellow humans and experience things and see how our souls can grow while we're here until it's our time upstairs. And all of us have been given the opportunity. We wrote this book out for us. So I wrote that I would get this disease. I wrote that I would anything because I knew that that was the way that my soul could get ready for what and be prepared for when I was ready to leave. But say if I didn't get this, I probably would be that narcissistic person, still out shopping or playing and not have been spiritual and not be ready.
Did did you tell us that last NDE?
No.
You want to tell us?
Okay. What happened was I did not get my medications, and my medications, if I don't get it, I get seizures. And I am now having seizures daily. But when I started having seizures and I knew I wasn't going to get my meds till the very next day, and I was in a bad way. And all I remember, because I actually have functioning seizures where I will talk to people, I will do things, and then I have no recollection of it. And I remember though, I took a bunch of meds. I was just trying to go to sleep to try to get through to the next day because the pain was so absolutely terrible. But I ended up what they said was 12 Benadryl and 30 sleeping pills. So, like the nurse said, well, if you wanted to take yourself out, you did it. And when I started, when I took it and I started going bad in my room, the weirdest thing was I could feel almost like this evil entity around me. And I sneezed twice, which was really weird. And I heard like it almost sounded like a bat fluttering. And my dog heard it too. And she yelped and she ran in the bathroom and she was shivering and shaking. And it was almost feeling like part of my soul left. And that is actually when they showed me a contract and I signed the termination of this life. And when I went to the hospital, and some of the things that happened in the hospital, the strangest thing was first, I was there for 8 days. The first 3 days, I had this smell coming out of me that 100% smelled like sulfur. It was so bad that the entire security staff in that hallway, one guy actually started to go into anaphylaxis. It was reeking out of me. They kept giving me clothes and everything, but I could not. It was just dumping sulfur out of me. And I remember being feeling like I was on this train and this I had my eyes closed because I was very scared. I knew I was passing and I heard this guy said if you've ever thought of essaying your mother or boiling your sister, you're in the right place. And I heard all these people start screaming and cheering. So I knew don't open your eyes, don't anything. And I passed through that and finally started to get angels around me. But it was terrifying. So, and it was like getting, and then I started to get sick and I was like vomiting, but I was pulling stuff out of the back of my throat. And then they showed me, you're literally pulling stuff. It felt like plastic. And they said, yeah, you're experiencing what you guys did to the oceans. And I was like, and I said, okay, it was really bad. I kept getting the physical symptoms of that. And I said, can you please not um, show me those things? So then when I woke up, I know I quantum immortality. I know I time jumped because when I woke up, I was in a different hospital and I was able to walk some at that time. And I was in a wheelchair before that. And I told the doctor, he goes, what are your medical conditions? And I said, yeah, I used to have POTS. And he goes, you don't anymore? And I said, not in this body. And that just came out. So I think subconsciously I knew I changed. And the want to hear the weirdest part is in 2001 when I had my kids. All my life I've been B positive on blood type. I bled out when I had my kids and had a blood transfusion. But after January, I'm B negative.
Somebody called her. Or did I disconnect? We gotta wait for her to come back. She's like, you wanna hear the wildest thing? Disconnect. I'm assuming maybe she got a phone call. She's gotta go back to the link and re-enter the room. And or was it Spirit? I don't know. A little late for that. She already told all of her story, you know? Wild. Wild story. I was about to tell her about you, Mama, but but no, it disconnected. We'll wait. We'll wait. I've got an hour and a half before I gotta go. Jesse J. We've got 12 people. We've got 12 people in here. We've got 4 from Twitch and 8 from YouTube. That may be the most we've had on a live stream, unless we were doing it on TikTok, in which we had almost 100. And I can't remember how I did that. I'll figure it out someday. Hopefully she comes back. Maybe she will email me, message me. Let's see. Well, no, I don't think so. We're not technically on Twitch. We are on my podcasting platform Riverside, which will then stream to Twitch. So like this is just streaming to those platforms. So we're not technically on Twitch. And usually, if I were to stream this on TikTok along with Twitch and um, YouTube, I would like screen share and then just drag it over to be on the screen. But so you can't go live on TikTok if you're using your camera on another platform. So you can't use your camera on two different platforms on your computer at one time. And so I gotta use it here so I can record to everywhere else. But because it's being used here, I can't use it on TikTok, which means I can't even go live on TikTok without an accessible camera. So there is I gotta find a way to like trick it into thinking I have a camera, and then screen share this screen. It's ridiculous. Jazzy J, you could we could do yours. I really think this one's really powerful, and for the simple fact that she thinks she doesn't have much time left. And in last night's stream, the boarding pass, wild, right? And if anybody follows hospice care, you realize, months prior. So something something people don't realize, this goes into skeptics, is during hospice care, people will often see past loved ones, greet them at their bedside, and then they pass. They ultimately pass when that happens. And most would say that's just your brain shutting down. But often people don't realize that it's not like last night my loved ones met me and I'm passing tomorrow. It's often 3 to 4 weeks, almost a month before it ultimately happens. So you see your past loved ones, and then a month later, that's when it happens. So she's been seeing her past loved ones for the last month, and then last night she got a boarding pass, which is blowing my mind. It's dragging me down. I'm making me sad. I want to go visit her. I want to go see her. I'm really sad because she's not here right now. That would be cool. It'd be cool just to sit down and ask her about her story. Where is she? Let's see if she's. Uh, let's see, TikTok. So let's see if she responds. She didn't tell me she didn't jump again. Oh, look, she's responding. I'm still here. No, you're not. She said, I'm still here. Says reconnecting. Watch your hair be brown. So it says reconnecting for people, add participant. There we go. You're back.
Oh, I was here the whole time. I kept talking. I was talking to
What?
myself. Oh, yeah. You know what? Sorry you missed it because I pledged everything to you. But now,
Shut up. Where did I? Where did we leave off? Does anybody know?
um,
Let's see if chat remembers. It was like, yeah, I mean, you ultimately finished with one thing, but you got cut off mid word. Um, damn, what were you? She was talking about her blood. Oh, so you were, yeah, you were the craziest thing. I was like, what if she was like, you and you're the craziest thing, and then you cut off?
yeah, I was B positive my whole life for 53 years. I even had a blood transfusion when my kids were born. And after January, they tested me. I'm B negative.
Wild.
Hmm. I've never heard of anything like that happening. I don't know how that happened, but now I'm B negative. So I'm thinking, I wonder if that's just because I changed timelines or something. I don't know.
Um, what is God to you?
God to me, I feel like He is my father, my creator, and He is, gosh, how do I say, kind of like a guidance counselor. He he helped all of us choose, our parents, our everything when we came down here. And He shows me that when we came down here, let's say some of the parts of our life we already planned. They were some of those decisions we were saying, that is exactly. But other ones we could choose. That's what free will is about. And that's why they say the tree of life, as he shows me, is that when you're born and to a certain age, and then you start making decisions and your different timelines, like say one decision is if your parents are divorced and you live with your mom, and then the other decision if you live with your dad, they're going to have two totally separate ones. But you chose the one that would get your soul ready to pass on when you're older or whenever it's your time. And what they said is that you schedule about 6 exits in your life, and it's up to you whether you choose them or not, of when you want to go.
Mama C says, tell her, please tell her, her story will keep me fighting with my conditions. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Mama C, Mama C Yoshi from TikTok says that please tell her her story will keep me fighting with my conditions. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Oh, thank you. That's what I feel like, and I that's why I want to go on and see if I can share more of my story, plus about what's happened to me with the work comp system. So maybe when I pass, it can change something so other people don't have to go through the same thing that I did. That's my real wish.
I was saying while you were gone, it's where are you located?
I'm in Sacramento, California.
Oh yeah, I was. I want to come see you. I want to give you a
Aw,
hug,
I know.
but
I would
that's
love here's
probably
a
not
virtual
likely.
hug.
Yeah, this'll do. This'll do, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, I want to go have some lunch. I want to sit down and record it. This. I want to do this in person. I think that would be fun, but you know, we can't. Um, but this is the best. We reach more people. This'll work. Well, I appreciate you coming to my live and sharing that day, and then coming here and doing this again. Um, Hopefully, your story inspires someone and it reaches the person it needs to reach, and hopefully you're with us for a little longer um, than you expect. Not to drag your life out, but you're like, I don't wanna.
I know that's
Don't
the hardest part.
don't wish that
It's
on me.
I know I'm always like I'm so ready to go, but then I look at my kids and they're like, "We're not quite ready." I'm like, "Oh, this is so hard."
Well,
So
if you had one last message for the world, what would it be?
that there is so much more out there, and that this is the worst part. And how I feel, what I was shown is that we are celestial beings.
It's got to be on her end because I'm still connected. If I was to disconnect, I wouldn't be here. So it's got to be her end. What's her last message? Does she know? Did she keep talking? Hmm. What's the message? That's it. I like what she said. This is the worst part. If you can get through this, you can get through the rest of it. The smell of sulfur. Shall I come back? Here we go. Here we go. If
Are
you
you
had one
there?
last message for the world, what would it be?
I say that this is the worst. That once you get through this, it is the best. Think about it like we are detectives. We are undercover right here. And the problem is that when we first came here, we were always contacting our boss, God. But eventually we stopped and we started looking to the government and to people and stopped looking upstairs. But as soon as, so we forgot who we were. But as soon as we start to really reconnect and as soon as we start to pass, we're going to find out who we are on the other side. And it's absolutely amazing.
All right, Cheryl. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for stopping in and talking to me and being here. I wish you very well, and I love you.
Oh, I love you too. It is very isolating because when you get sick, you kind of lose everyone. So I really appreciate you reaching out and offering me this because it makes you feel not so alone.
I'm glad you can feel that way from this.
Okay. You're cutting in and out, but I will not change. So I will just, I guess, touch in with you later. I know you have a thing to go to too.
I do. I wanted to share something with you, kind of only
Sure.
because this is off record. Um, the podcast is over, but I just reposted this, and I'll share it with you quickly because it kind of goes over what you said, but what this just said, and I literally watched this an hour before we did this, but um, chat says they love you too. All right, well, fuck. I'll share it with you.
Oh boy. It's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in. Oh boy, do I have one for you. I believe that ancient civilizations were actually more advanced than we are today. And the reason why we don't have any hard physical evidence of it is because they lived in accordance with the earth. They didn't produce any non-biodegradable waste. Their science was based off of what was already provided by the earth, and they were.
Well, one more time, I'm gonna show you this video real quick.
Okay.
Much more consciously. It's a conspiracy.
It's
It's a
30.
conspiracy theory that. It's a conspiracy.
God damn it. It's 34 seconds long.
Theory that you 1,000% believe in. Oh boy, do I have one for you. I believe that ancient civilizations were actually more advanced than we are today. And the reason why we don't have any hard physical evidence of it is because they lived in accordance with the earth. They didn't produce any non-biodegradable waste. Their science was based off of what was already provided by the earth, and they were much more consciously aware. But the biggest part of the conspiracy is I think that the people in power right now, they know this and they won't tell the public because then we'll start living like these ancient civilizations did, and the system at which these powerful people gain more power will crumble. It's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000%.
That 100% is the same info I got.
So I saw that a couple hours ago, and I was like I thought the same thing, but not to that detail. That we lived. Yes, I thought maybe ancient civilizations were a thing. We were smarter back then. Something big happened. Whatever the case was. But I didn't think that we lived more in accordance to the earth, and so that's why the buildings were biodegradable. That's why there wasn't a bunch of evidence left behind, and that's why the government doesn't want to fail because if we don't have to rely on them. I'm
Bless you. Bless you.
allergic to the government. Sorry.
Yeah, so am I.
Anyways, I thought it was really cool, and then what you just said, so I connected those dots, and yeah, interesting.
Yep.
When you go back to our ancient ways,
Yep.
people talk
Exactly.
about
Yeah, I've been.
this. People who have had near death experiences often talk about this great awakening they were told they were gonna that the society was going to have. Like they agreed to this lifetime to experience this great awakening. Now, do we know what this great awakening
Mhm.
is, or are they told ever? No, but I do believe because I base my entire belief system on near death experiences. I don't read the Bible. I don't study
Me
religion.
neither.
My whole right, the whole belief system comes from testimonies like yours. Um, and something that's consistent in a lot of them is that um, they were told that they agreed to come here to be a part of a great awakening. And I think,
Mhm.
I think this what we're doing right now is just one piece of that great awakening. But I think there's something else massive on a massive scale that is a part of it that we don't quite know what it is yet. But I think at some point, if you've heard like Vinny's near death experience, I can't Vinny Tillman Toddman to something like that. Vinny's and a couple other ones, people get glimpses of the future and they start to see us live in these sort of dome shaped houses. And they're like biodegradable type of material. And they're living like off the land and they're living in these small communities and they're helping each other. And they're not basing their life on this giant government and
Mm.
monetistic, right? It's more trade and other things. So I think like I think at some point there is going to be a great awakening, and we will go back to this earthly based life.
I believe so too. And I don't know if how it's going to be like a solar flash or something, but I believe it's going to come pretty quick.
Now, I talk about this often. Is I do think it may be a solar flash that, like, I don't want to say injures us, but puts everybody through this a near death experience. Can you imagine the entire world having one near death experience in a moment, and how insanely different the world would be if they all came back with a near death experience? And in a matter of a second, everything would be different. Everything would be different. We'd lose our interest in
Uh huh.
everything,
But
materials. It'd be insane.
that's the problem is that when we were connected to God, we had our abilities. We were telepathic. We could all these things, but you can't monetize that. So they had to block the connection to make the money and to control us. If we are telepathic and with God, we can't be controlled. So once that happens, but they showed me again last night. It was almost like a flash, like one of those old cameras. And then boom, it was just in another place. So you didn't have to be afraid, like, am I going to hurt? Is it going to be painful? And they showed me that a lot of your loved ones will be with you if they are ready for that. But there's going to be several realms that people will be on whatever realm, and angels will help them awaken, but some people are not ready to completely awake to the other side.
Do we? I don't know if we talked about this when we talked on TikTok, but I I'll say what I said last time, but I don't know if it was to you or not. But I think this is what people confuse what the rapture is. I think the rapture is nothing more than a
Mm-hmm.
great awakening. Did we talk about
Yes,
that?
I no, but I hate that word. But they tell me it's like a separation, it's a split, it's a soul flesh, it's a. But when you say rapture, at least it gets people to link up to what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's all the same thing. I think the move from 3D
Mm-hmm.
to 5D, 3D to 5D, New Earth and Old Earth, the Rapture, the Great Awakening. I think they're all the same thing. Same thing. We're all arguing about different religions or different. What is prayer? What is manifestation? All the same thing. I think they're all the same thing. It
Mm-hmm.
means something. Means one thing, different terms.
I believe that's 100% with what I believe and what I've been shown. So 100%.
Awesome. Well,
So that's why,
I
yeah, I'm so intrigued. I will definitely be tuning into your podcast a lot and your sites because, yeah, it's exactly with what everything.
well, I hope to
So
see you
I'm
again.
excited
I'll
for it.
always being active and keep us updated in the comments in the lives, and just keep us updated. Let us know what's going on in your life, dreams,
I definitely will.
experiences. Feel free to come
I
join in
definitely,
on the live and tell us.
I would love to. So I will definitely let you. I'm getting so many visits and stuff as I know it's getting close. So, it's a lot of new info.
And while you're gone, we were kind of talking about hospice care. Are you at home hospice or are you no?
I'm home. I'm home hospice. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. I know.
we were
I'm
talking about
constantly.
like hospice. People in hospice often start to see people, right? And
Mhm.
and it's not the day before or it's not the couple days before something um happens. It's usually like a month out, right? You start to see these things a month prior, and to get you ready.
Yes, my sister's been coming to me a lot, and I. That's why now it's not much more time. I am having seizures daily, and I haven't been able to eat in a week. So I know my body's failing, but it's filled with faith, and I'm not scared. So I'm ready.
All right. Again, I love you, and I hope to see you again and talk to you again, and see you in my chat.
Okay, love you too. You take care and you have fun tonight with your child.
Thank you very much. Don't close the. I'll end this. We'll disconnect, but don't close your thing until it says it's uploaded. Mine says 99% uploaded. So.
Okay.